Hi, guess what we've got for you today? Yet another new SUV. Now I know you must be absolutely bored to death seeing new SUVs coming to India all the time. But this car is a bit special. Let me tell you why. It's a Jeep, so it means its great-granddaddy started the whole off-roader craze. And this car's granddaddy started the SUV craze. It was also called the Grand Cherokee, and many people say it was the original SUV. We're not interested in that. What we're really interested in is how good this car is. So how is this Jeep Grand Cherokee going to come to India? Well, it's complicated, but it's interesting. So listen, Fiat owns part of Chrysler, which owns Jeep. And that's how Jeep is going to come to India. This is going to be one of the first models, and they're going to start with a top-down strategy. It certainly has what it takes in the looks department. It looks stunning in the flesh with its bold, sharp lines, the square jaw, and that characteristic toothy Jeep grin. All Jeeps have 7 vertical slats, and the designers have done really well to translate that World War II stamped grille into this new attractive one. Of course, the headlights get plenty of attention, and rightly so. But what's equally stunning is the profile of this SUV. The squared off wheel arches look the business, and the tight skinning of the side looks even better. Now, out of the country lanes, this car is surprisingly nice to drive. But we shouldn't be surprised. Under this car is the Mercedes M-Class chassis, and Jeep has tuned it to make it both very drivable off-road. Of course, it's a Jeep, so it has to be a hardcore off-roader. And it's surprisingly good on-road as well. The air suspension takes care of most of the springing, and because you can adjust it when you want, you can make it stiffer for tight corners. It's really nice to drive. It's surprisingly nimble. Now, the Grand Cherokee that's going to be popular in India is this one, the one I'm driving right now. It's a V6 diesel. Of course, Americans aren't great at diesel engines, but as ever, Jeep and Chrysler and Fiat have had some help. There's a company called VM Motori, obviously Italian, and they're absolute geniuses at diesel engines. They've been doing it for years. We've had some of the engines in India before, and this V6, this turbo diesel V6, is not smooth. It's creamy smooth. It's just unbelievable the way the motor purrs forward and you just ride that wave of torque. There's no spike, there's no jerkiness. It's just so nice to drive. It's really unbelievable. What makes a big difference also is the brilliant 8-speed gearbox from ZF. Now, it's not a twin clutch, it's a normal torque converter, and it really mates well with this car. Now, the other really nice thing about this car is the way they've set up the suspension. It's not sporty, it's not really hard, and that's nice because once the car comes to India, it'll be able to handle our roads so much better. Inside the cabin, there's plenty of room, both at the front and in the rear, and a sizable, well-shaped boot for all your luggage. So space isn't really an issue. This is an American car after all. The driving position is really good, the front seats are huge, and comfort levels are high. It's also pretty well equipped. The quality of the sat-nav, however, isn't up there with Jeep's German rivals, and plastic quality, that's nowhere near as good. And frankly, that's one area where this big SUV isn't as competitive. Now I must say, before I started driving this car, I didn't have a very high opinion of it. American SUVs are generally reputed to be simple, large, and very basic. But this car is something else. This car feels very modern. It's built on the Mercedes M-Class chassis. It has a fantastic V6 diesel, a beautiful 8-speed gearbox. There's tons of space. It's beautifully set up. I can't tell you how impressed I am with this car. The key, of course, is how Fiat and Chrysler will price it in India. If they price it right, if they price it slightly below the German brigade, I think they have a really good shot at the market. Let's just hope they stick to that.